Mary Carson Breckinridge was born in Memphis, Tennessee on February 17, 1881, to a wealthy Southern family as the eldest daughter and second of four children. Mary's family had great governmental influence while she was growing up. Her grandfather was the Vice President of the United States under President Buchanan, and her father, Clifton Rhodes Breckinridge, was a congressman and U.S. ambassador to Russia. Breckinridge's early education was directed by the best private tutors in the United States and in England. She left to attend the Rosemont Dalesay boarding school in Lausanne, Switzerland, and returned to the United States to attend the Low and Haywood School in Stamford, Connecticut, where she completed her education. Mary was encouraged by her mother to pursue a traditional path of marriage rather than go to college. She listened to this advice and married a lawyer named Henry Morrison, who died 2 years later of appendicitis. Following the death of her husband, Mary Breckinridge decided to pursue a career in nursing. She entered the St. Luke's Hospital School of Nursing in New York and graduated in 1910 as a registered nurse. Close after graduating, Mary remarried and bore two children who both tragically passed away. Her daughter died a few hours after birth and her son at the age of 2. Following the deaths of her children, Mary decided to divorce her husband, reclaim her maiden name, and start a life of caring for others through nursing. Breckinridge began by serving as a public health nurse during the 1918 influenza pandemic. It was in charge of one of the city's 5 medical areas. Traveled to France to join an American Committee for Devastated France. There, she organized a visiting nursing program that was a wild success for the next 2 years, leading her nurses and midwives to care for children and pregnant women throughout France. In 1921, Breckinridge returned to the States once again to serve among people experiencing poverty in Kentucky. When she returned, she realized that there weren't any schools of midwifery, and she planned to start one. Mary returned to school from the years 1922 to 1923 to take postgraduate courses at the Teachers College of Columbia University in New York to be educated on the latest advancements in public health in that day. After taking a public health survey of the Appalachian Mountain area of Kentucky, she realized that there was no training for women who delivered babies, who were mostly illiterate. An area with such high birth rates and infant mortality rates had no physicians to assist with the process and no. Mary returned to Europe to study midwifery at the British Hospital for Mothers and Babies in London. After receiving a certificate as a midwife, she toured Scotland for even further training and to gain additional information about rural nursing. She also took postgraduate courses at York Road General Lying Hospital in London. Returning to Kentucky in 1925, Breckinridge organized the Kentucky Committee for Mothers and Babies, which in 1928 later became known as the Frontier Nursing Service. Its headquarters was in Hyden, Kentucky, with a small medical dispensary. While it was initially invested by Breckinridge's funds, she originally hired 6 nurse midwives who were trained in England and Scotland. By the early 30s, these nurses served over 1,000 rural families where they provided general health care, prenatal and postnatal nursing, and delivered babies. As the program grew, it received large donations, which allowed it to open a small hospital, hire a medical director, and establish several outpost centers. When it became too expensive to send nurses abroad to be trained, the Frontier School of Midwifery and Family Nursing, the first of its kind in America, was opened. Mary Breckinridge received lots of recognition and awards to regard her massive contribution to the nursing profession, including an honorary Doctor of Law degree from the University of Kentucky in Lexington. In the year 1931, Breckinridge had a serious fall from a horse that resulted in her wearing a brace for the rest of her life. Despite this, she continued to lead the frontier service well into her 80s. Mary Carson Breckinridge passed away from an old age in 1965 at 85 years old, and she is buried next to her children in Lexington, Kentucky. This page includes all of my work cited during this project.